Welcome back to EU5, episode number 4. As we continue on with our journey, we left off with a massive earthquake in Lisbon. The screen we're looking at now, the map mode, is dangers. There are various dangers across the world and of our entire Western European region. This is it in our own homeland, and the danger is earthquake zone. So we do fall into an earthquake zone. One notable thing, though, is that Porto does not have that problem. So long term, we might want to make Porto more of the primary and not necessarily Lisbon as the capital of Portugal long term. Currently, it is Porto. We are having a knock-on effect that is hurting a little bit, though, as Lisbon is the strongest, but we're losing control. It's down to 66%. This map mode can show us what that one is like. It's 100 in Porto, and you can see the surrounding area is strong, but it drops off rather rapidly, and Lisbon is losing quite a bit of control over time. We've got rural areas with very little control. These coastal provinces make a lot more sense to build up, and somewhere like here is going to get the benefit of either capital if we bounce back and forth over time. Notifications definitely have dropped off a little bit, but we are still lacking. We are still recovering from the Black Death. We were barely making progress. We dropped initially down to right about the number we're at right now. We had recovered roughly 20,000, and that's what we just lost in the earthquake. You can see a lot of buildings in Lisbon have been ravaged, and we'll see, and the surrounding area for that matter. Santarém, this surrounding region, all facing a certain level of devastation right now. The other things I wanted to check out is like literacy rates. 10-11% is all. And some laborers, some peasants. That seems to be your baseline, is 10%. That's the minimum. There will always be at least 10%. And then how much more do you have beyond that? Well, right now it's really just a little bit of nobility and whatnot. Prosperity was okay within the nation. It wasn't that bad. 5% actually is all. But the prosperity is minus 93%. Holy cow. That really doesn't get much worse. How quickly will that recover? 0.15 per month. That is going to take forever to recover from this earthquake. And you can see the provinces that were also affected surrounding it. 21, 19, 14, 21, and 20. Yeah, they'll recover much sooner. So for the moment, we are back into the negative when it comes to our balance, and we want to get that at least to a slight positive. The commoners can afford... Nope, we are maxed out on their taxes now. The burghers. Nobility. Cost of court. Negative 0.02. Now we're starting to see a little bit of recovery. We'll let that stay as is for now as we try to build on that recovery, but at least it's going to get us a positive balance. It's going to take us quite a while from here, though, to get back into some sort of pay off the loans and actually start building buildings that are going to grow our economy over time. This is so frustrating that has occurred. Tunisia and Sicily at war. Yeah, we're okay. We don't need to bother with that. Okay, we can add stability. We got a positive event, or make the clergy happy. Let's take the stability. Knock-on effect from that one. Less people, less rebels. Okay, slight great power score. The estates are all a little bit happier. Promotion speed is much faster. And we get a little bonus to... Oh, great. The estates are ready to convene once again. Porto, at least, finally does have that full control. Okay, seems the only difference on selecting a site is centralization versus decentralization. We want to centralize the state long term, so that means we want to go with the capital, Porto. Our highest percentage chance is sponsor the noble arts, giving us almost 40% right off the bat, increasing the equilibrium for the noble estates. And then we would have either a new architect or a new composer. So new court members that we could hire. Tempted to do the census though, even though we're starting at 0%. The population growth is a big bonus. The stability that we can gain is also a big plus. That's two major things. The trade-off is we're going to make people unhappy to get there, but I think that's something we can afford to do as they're quite happy right now. So let's do the census. We need the population badly. So boldly going where we have not gone before. Banking, we got to start there. That's the biggest boost. Only 20%. We can also throw in this increase opinion. It'll get us a little bit further, another 7%, but that's still only 35 right now. Let's give it some time. We got 145 days. We'll get some events. Hopefully we get some positive ones. Or we'll immediately get a -1 before I even finish the verbalizing it. So we've been assimilating pops. We're up to 97% here. Let's go ahead and focus on something else like provincial control. And let's get Lisbon back to a high level of control. Another negative event, 5% lost once again. We're already down to 80 days. We have a daughter who has turned 16. We're going to have to arrange a marriage. Marriages, we are kind of back on track over here. Get about 5 prestige. Let's do it. Support's down to 25%. We have to do more. Like get the clergy mad once again. We get 8% back. We're down to just one building now that is still lacking. Make that 4 buildings. Issue fails. It fails. We just lost 7 stability. Fantastic. We put more effort into it than anything we've done before. We lost a lot of happiness and it failed anyway. It's okay. Okay, slow gains right now. Okay, I think we've already maxed out what we can do with our control gains here locally. Let's move on to another region for that. Because the max control gain is 10%. I think it was at 41. So if we pick another region, maybe tax base. We're doing pretty well here. Let's go ahead and go for the boost on that one. Okay, we're at 47% here. So we can push that out to 57. And pretty quick. It's only taken me about 6 months to complete this task, and then you just move on to the next one. And kind of revolving door, they all get about a 10% controlled bonus that way. Long term. 1 more month and we'll be maxed out. We're going to grant some land rights to the burghers. Okay. And that's suddenly not increasing anymore. So we're going to move on to the next province. Now the big question is, how long does it last? Here. Well, look at that, 2 ducats a month more. Same time, I think we need to move on from our slow development of the Lisbon region, knowing that, one, prosperity is so low. Everything's terrible there right now. Anyway, so the slow build of development there isn't doing me much good. Not much good at all. And if we're going to move out of an earthquake zone and make Porto more of our primary capital, then we should change this one to development in Porto. Getting a little bit faster. We're close to 2 ducats profit here monthly. We'll be able to pay back another one soon, as we have a measles outbreak. A lot of people sick, but how many will die? So far it's just 2 deaths. And the resistance is already growing, with presence slowly decreasing. Unhappiness among the clergy, as if we didn't need any more. Lose the prestige. We don't have any anyway. Well, we had 3. This is going away fairly quickly, with just a few deaths. But missing inputs, not much of a problem anymore. Pop needs, not much of a problem. We have the ability to pay back a loan. 1 more. Yes, we do. There we go. We're going to have to extend the others, though. That means we're down to 2. As our 3rd child has now come of age. No royal marriage possible for him, so why don't we marry a lowborn? No, that's hurting. Well, prestige doesn't matter. We have none. Legitimacy, that does hurt 5, though. We'll wait. We'll try again here in a year or so. Now we're making 2 ducats. Back up to 841,000. We've recovered most of what we lost here, but I can guarantee you, if we look at prosperity again, they're all still hurting, but we've got a positive balance, at least on these guys that were at the -20, while Lisbon's down to -65% from -99. Bea, from the measles outbreak, is at -10%. Porto, doing pretty okay. We can invite settlers once again, also from Aragon. Where do we want to bring them? Well, not to our totally devastated area. I think we need to bring them to Porto. No, let's bring some more people into Porto. That's definitely an important find. Bringing population in makes a big difference. Let's check back on our institutions. As we have some agrarian communities, please be a positive. Yes. Stability, okay. Rural attraction for a couple of years. Minho gains bountiful harvest. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to encourage the revival. Okay, Lisboa, our only one. Now at 53%. We were at 40 last time we checked, and it's gaining rapidly right now. 0.22 per month. Banking, making progress. 28%. By the way, a monastery is the only one that's missing employees right now. After we get these employees, or loans, last couple loans paid off, I think we could start looking into hiring actual cabinet members ahead of our navy, etc. once again. But we need to invest in buildings in Portugal. Oh, months remaining is 2. Come on, give me enough to repay it. Get me enough to repay it so we don't have to renew. And add another 10% interest. There, repay. Got it before it renewed. Down to 2 loans. So looking at the age of Renaissance here, there's 110 possible advances in its entirety, but we have 3 institutions that need to be adopted within this. Now, once we have professional armies in Lisbon, does that mean we have access to that tree? I'm guessing that probably not. I'm assuming we're going to need to have it spread within the country to the nearby provinces first, but we'll see if that's the actual case. The old EU4 system, if I remember correctly, is 10% of your population must be in a province that has adopted the institution. Then you can early adopt by paying for kind of what your remaining chunk is, some sort of equivalent value. And as you add provinces, it's going to decrease what that cost is. Once you embrace the institution, that's when you can begin research on it. I'm assuming that we're going to have a very similar system here as we continue to recover financially. Send in the infantry, finest infantry for 10 years. We got a positive boost. Shocking. Oh, control, we need to move province control now elsewhere. We have not done this one. Let's go ahead and increase their control. All right, again, moving on to our next province and kind of completing the section to the north where we're earning the most money because the control's the highest. We're going to head back down here after that, try to increase our control once again. Kind of recycling ourselves on that one as a rivalry has been declared with Tlemcen. Has declared us their rival. Might be able to repay one of our loans. No, very soon. 44 ducats required as you pay that interest month by month, right? And it pays down that value. There we go. Now we can repay one of them. One loan remains, and our profit is probably better than it's ever been, in part from managing control, in part from recovering pops. We're up to 851,000 on that unmarried children thing. There we go. See, there's somebody who just needed time. Third or fourth in line. I think at this point I'm more interested in who's got the better stats, and that's really neither. You got one that's better militarily, one better diplomatically, and they're the same admin wise. I think we'll take the older, higher up the line, and that gives it at least a little bit of prestige in the short term. Political crisis, oh joy. Passive, or we can lose prestige. Bye bye prestige. Again, hard to lose what you don't have anyway, so we keep sacrificing that option again and again, and until we start engaging others in war, we're not going to get anywhere with that. We're down to a single monastery still needing individuals, and then it's really just the cabinet members, and small losses here and there. Tanneries in particular seem to still be losing, and then the commander situation and the last loan. It's getting close. It is getting close. Okay. Yeah, see, control's pretty low. Keeping an eye on that's necessary. It did go up, but barely. So let's get some control down here. And we're definitely not as devastated down here anymore. Yeah, these guys are back to a positive balance. 7-8%. It's not great. Increase is slow. You go from really negative to neutral a lot faster than you go from neutral to having good prosperity. But it's at 43 now, 42% on the negative side in Lisbon. Far from recovered. Bea is back to a positive 3%. They're definitely not as prosperous as Castile. How have they recovered so well? Well, they have a lot of money, for one. Nobility, we have another event here, an unlikely inheritor. Oh, okay. So a landed member of the nobility has died without an immediate heir. Basically promote somebody and push towards aristocracy and decentralization. It's not really what I want. Or usurp the title for ourselves. We can gain 10 prestige and have no negatives, push towards aristocracy and centralization. I will definitely do that. And we can nearly pay that off. We can nearly pay it off. We're almost out of debt. We are almost out of debt. We are out of debt. Let's go. We're out of debt. Woo. Okay, we're going to do reinvestment first. Production. Oh, nothing is looking great. A distiller's guild will earn us just over a ducat a month in time. What's it going to cost me? Looking into this one, we have one in Lisbon, and that would gain the second most, or nope, there we go. There's your, what would this cost though to increase what you have already? Be looking at 34 gold to make that happen. Or if we build an entirely new one, 34 gold in Porto. We're kind of trying to move towards Porto, so we're going to do that. Nobility demand increased pensions. They want 32 gold. They want to put us right back in demand, or we just make them unhappy for a little while. As everybody was happy, we move towards unhappy for a little bit. Monthly change, they'll recover it pretty quickly. Oh man, here we go. Schism is here. We got a while. We've got quite a while till Martin Luther, but this is the beginning of that. So the schism, this is the divide in the church, and that divide just kind of feeds on to other things. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely do Porto here in what looks like a couple of months. I think I need to do at least 2 new buildings before I go and spend on something that doesn't have an economic gain, as in, you know, hiring actual, like, it's only 13 ducats to appoint somebody. It's not that bad. Small box trying to emerge, but not sticking around. Down to 35%, by the way. Oh, and we're back to our next estate parliament session. Let's get to it. We want to centralize, so Porto. We failed the last time. We would very much like to succeed this time around. Expand the gravel road network. That's just decreasing costs. That's not going to help me out. I want it, but we need. There's the sponsor of the Noble Arts. Market expansion acts. Trade maintenance goes down. That definitely will help us make some money for a while, but it's only at 13%. Host army exercises. It's got to be. I don't want to have to over-invest into this yet. Anyway, later on, that's another matter. But there's an easy choice: 82 and 60%. And suddenly we've got 63% support. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That's enough. Captain moves to the Kingdom of Portugal. Sweet. Let's see about hiring you for our navy. Oh, we have more than one captain. This one though, good navy diplo. Anyway, this is not going to cost me anything. Okay. We have a naval commander. Control is maxed out. Check things like recovery effort after the right. Plus 7%. Cavalry companions. This should be quick. This recovery effort. Yeah, Lisboa is down to just a small negative. Oh! What are you doing? Minus 5%. Of course you are. We're at 58% now. A little bit risky. Final days. Maritime dominance. I don't need to click this. We got 10 days. Oh, it's forcing me. Now it's barely 50%. Okay, it passed. Good. The king himself is leading his army of 250, running around the country with are they gathering food? It's hard to tell what exactly their mission is. Okay, we have ducats once again. That first building is done and already employed. And we no longer have unprofitable buildings. We have a couple that are at nothing, but they're not losing. We're starting to do okay. We are starting to do okay. Production. Okay, what do you got for me? Carpenter's Guild. A Distiller's Guild. Making books. As in they are copying books. So they're using dyes and paper and lumber. that employs 50 clerics, and it's a consumer good that has multiple levels. You figure that's got to help with literacy rates. Let's take that one. We have one right now, a new one in Porto. I mean, that costs more. 34, 33, barely. We'll get one in Porto. We're gonna essentially give ourselves 2 capitals one way or another here, the way things are going. We could already almost afford our next. Profit margins are looking much better. Recovery effort finished. Let's get rid of those rebels. No? It's too low everywhere. They're kind of universal apparently. Okay, well, let's round back onto provincial control here. Get these guys back up. Production. The Distillers Guild seems to be the next one. And there's your 0.8. Porto. Cost me 34, which we can afford now. Growth of the administration. We can make the nobility happy, the burghers happy, or the clergy happy. Everybody is currently happy. We have neutralized at 51. That's the lowest, so the nobility is the one you would want to make happy. Oh my gosh, we got a positive event. We have decent stability, legitimacy. Everything but prestige is actually doing pretty okay right now. So, Carpenters Guild, you're next. 0.8 in Porto. 10 more ducats, and we will add in this Carpenters Guild and just keep finances rolling the right way. We can gain prestige or take the money and immediately get that on the go. We need this long-term stability more than anything else. A tar kiln looks like the next one we want to get into, and we can afford it immediately. Yes, we can. So this rapid introduction of new buildings is going to stabilize the economy long-term. Then we'll worry about turning things up, as our youngest is now 16 years of age. No marriage prospects at the moment. We'll let that sit then. Who is that other possible rival? Tlemcen. We are balanced with Tlemcen, by the way, but we're weaker than Tunis and Morocco, which is so strange for Portugal to be weaker, but we're finally getting somewhere, right? We are finally getting somewhere. This is going to just compound. Invite more settlers from Aragon. Yes, please. We can invite Andorra to the defense. Oh, we don't have a defensive league anymore. That's right. Navarre became an ally. So Andorra would be a start from scratch kind of scenario. Okay, let's check in on a couple screens. One, control. Yeah, we're right back down into the 50s. These guys have probably already maxed out. Let's shift that on over. Prosperity. Bea's 8%. Lisboa's 2.3. So it's recovered at least. We could have done that so much sooner. We could have helped it recover much sooner. Now that I understand what that is, let's get your negative balance to a 0. That's all you have to do with that. That's what that is about. Now we understand that. And then institutions. Okay, Lisbon, how we doing? 85%, and we're starting to gain Renaissance. We are finally starting to gain Renaissance at the same rate that we're gaining on banking, though that's 40% ahead of it. But now professional armies is more than 40% ahead of banking. I'm assuming at the same time that these are probably related to what you have, what sort of buildings you have, what sort of your prosperity level you have. Well, prosperity hasn't been good, but prosperity is better, and now it's going faster. Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint what exactly is feeding that number and why we're not getting it similarly in a place like Porto compared to Lisbon. What about Lisbon is so much bigger, better, stronger when it's actually struggling quite a bit. Let's go back into conversion for a little bit. We are 96% here. Yeah, see, we've brought in some individuals who are not. So we'll convert. We'll just keep those percentages high. Carpenter's Guild is once again in need. Porto, level 2, 34 ducats, okay. Unity of Faith. Hey, we gained stability. That's up to a 52. It looks like it wants to settle on about a 50. It's losing very slow, but I'm okay with that. We have to pay more into it to make it higher. The Scriptorium is the other one we want to feed into once again, and that's Porto. Another 34 ducats. We'll go ahead and feed into that. And what do we have here? Traveling Preacher. Cosme. Pimentel. Oh, the Schism. Okay, Western Schism. So we could lose some stability with a 50-50 shot that some of our pops convert to these different ideas, or we don't allow him. He dies, and we move towards traditionalism. Sure. Son's still no suitable marriage. So how is that Western Schism looking? Rome versus whatever. France. Okay. Much less support, but it's growing. I think I might sit on buildings for a little bit and try to actually hire these individuals here. At least one of them soon. 12 ducats to appoint somebody, and we want development is going to be admin, right? So we hire somebody. And we immediately get an event. We have, it's a negative event. We can lose 10% total. You're losing 10% no matter which option you choose. You're going to gain 10 and lose 20, or you're going to lose 5 and 5. Let's lose 5 and 5. Oh, there's our last child. Now 16. Oh, okay. So we have our choice. This is the French Pope. We would pick up 10 legitimacy. France and Castile would like us. That seems the obvious. We have to go with Castile. All right, let's get the last appointee here. And oh, the Crown Prince. That's our heir, isn't it? Do we want him? Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. We can take on that role. And we get a little bit of a positive here from actually filling out the cabinet. All right, Lisbon, how we look at 99% on the professional armies. We will find out here momentarily whether it's a much longer wait on the institution, or whether we can immediately start professional armies as a tech with some sort of penalty. There you go. We have it in Lisboa. That's in 5% of our locations right now. Erosion of faith. The schism's not helping us any. Clergy and commoners upset or lose stability and legitimacy. We have some happiness to spare, so spend that particular currency. Check research. Banking. Professional armies. No. Requirements not met. Embraced. A country can embrace an institution when enough of the population of a country lives in locations where it has fully spread. That means that the country has fully understood the institution and can research advances that rely on it. Okay, so it's as I expected. What I don't know is how to check. I mean, we just saw that it's at 5%. Not present. Banking not present. Professional armies has spread to 5%. All right, well, now we have to look to see what's happening with professional armies, and it is spreading pretty quickly. Come on, we just literally had this exact effect a short while ago, and now the commoners are upset down to 43%. We are spreading pretty quickly at about a 0.7, give or take, 0.6. There's a 0.8. Marriage union disbanded. Oh, that's right. We had, okay. We can claim the throne, but there's no way we could beat Castile in a war. So there's nothing we can do about that now. It'll expire in 5 years. However, like I said, we don't have massive allies to make Castile a junior partner and lock them in. And then there's no way we could ever control that. Oh, our cabinet we just brought in a cabinet member. Really? It was our son. What happened to our son? Hold on. Guess our other son's going to take over. But these other provinces are going to gain much faster, and even way out here. So it's the entire nation. Most of the nation. Most of the nation is picking up professional armies. Some faster than others. But it won't take. It's not going to take very long until we have it. Good to know. Let's get back into those finances and see what we can do. Scriptorium. Big fan of that scriptorium and the possibility making more books. Heresy, some people are converting. Now this is getting really annoying. Clergy and commoners are still really upset. 45 is going to knock them down to 35. They'll recover more quickly, but this is leaving us with a handful of issues here. This schism is causing a lot of unrest, especially in the commoners right now, and that's going to take some bouncing back. But the economy is finally stabilizing, and we are now growing rapidly. We will have to, very soon here, as we've dropped at 42nd, actually start spending on our court. In fact, we can neutralize that one now. Get back to... Oh no, we're okay on diplomatic spending. Stability. Barely an expense to be neutral. There we go. And try to hold it. 0.25. I'm okay with that. But the lesson of the day is that we have recovered. We're up to 878,000 now, population-wise. So we were 50k lower after the earthquake. So we've recovered that near 20k and then 30k on top of that. So we're definitely growing more rapidly. And the first institution of the age is finally close to being set. And so we can start having a lot of new military tech coming as a result. And then before long, we can actually start making a real military and maybe, just maybe, stop playing tall. And we can then start claiming some territory in a place like Morocco. With Castile's help, I would think that would be possible because we can give them some land as well. And even though Morocco is stronger, I think with at least some military and with some finances where we can even afford levies for that matter, I think that it would actually all be something we could be capable of actually growing and expanding. And if you do it slowly initially, converting pops, culture, absorbing them doesn't seem so difficult, right? We are wasting a lot of time converting and doing things that are minor right now. This is good. This is real good, folks. We are headed in the right direction. We are finally headed in the right direction, and I'm starting to feel like we could take a big sigh of relief and begin progressing. We're getting out of that sink or swim. We are swimming. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.